Hello, welcome back, people. What's going on, man? It's your boy Ray Caruso. We're back. We're fucking back. Hopefully, this is actually hopefully this is actually recording because I did it last time and it wasn't recording. So it looks like it is. So let's go. Let's go. Let's keep it up. Thank you for coming and joining us. Welcome back. Welcome back. All right, it's another episode of Untitled Opinions. And who asked you? Because dead ass, who asked you? Let me go ahead and start sharing my screen. You know what I'm saying? Let me share my screen with y'all. 'Cause, y'all need to see. You know what I'm saying? Y'all need to see what I see. Oops. All right. Obviously, we're going to be going through our daily news, our daily websites like we normally do: CNN, World Star, Shade Room, ESPN. You know, I'm going to look to see if there's like a fan duel. I can go online. Sportsbook. Ah. And we'll also view bets and help you with some bets as well. Let's go. All right. Let me get my notebook. I wrote down some topics that we need to discuss. You know what I'm saying? Because who else is gonna discuss them with you if not me, right? All right. So, happy New Year's, because I know a lot of y'all just came back from your holidays and vacations. I hope a lot of y'all were staying safe. Yes, yes. I hope a lot of y'all were staying safe. I hope a lot of y'all had a good vacation, good holiday, good Christmas, good New Year's. I hope your kids had a good time. I hope you stayed good. I hope your New Year's resolution is coming along good. I hope everyone's making changes and doing all the good stuff. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna be putting Trump in office soon, so I hope everyone's ready for that. You know, a lot of stuff going on in the day to day. You know what I mean? But we'll go through it. We'll go through some untitled opinions before we get to these web pages. Obviously, I'm going to leave it up here because who wants to see that infinity screen, right? You don't want to see an infinity screen. I don't even want to see that infinity screen. I'll go through some of my untitled opinions. I'll get my board. Give me a second here. I got a little whiteboard I use to have all my questions. You know what I'm saying? I got a lot of questions, and most of the times, a lot of the questions I go through are questions I come up with from general situations and questions I hear from a lot of people as well. You know what I mean? I'm also going to be taking emails and all that stuff. Like, send me stuff. You know what I mean? Send me topics, discussions. We can always discuss things. You know. Um, Shout out to everybody that's in California battling the fires, man. We send our prayers out to you. We hope everything gets resolved out there. We hope everyone's getting safety, everyone's getting help. If I could fly out to California and do my own share of goodness, I would. You know what I mean? But in that time or in this time, I'll just send my prayers, my love, and my condolences for anybody that lost anybody or lost anything during that time. You know what I mean? We're in a time of need where it's the best time as people we come together. You know what I mean? This is the best time for us as people to come together. Right now, we're going to see a lot of talk, a lot of conversation and discussion about what's going on. And that is to deter the man from making actual progression and changes. So, with that being said, this is my entitled opinion. Be wary of all the information you're going to be receiving during these wildfires and then during these down times. Okay? Because a lot of the information you're seeking or getting isn't really progressing or making a change so this doesn't happen in the near future. Okay? I believe, this is my entitled opinion, I believe America has done this periodically because it's a gain for America, whether it's a gain in the insurance, property, prices, estates, it's a gain. You know what I mean? They see a gain from it. Me personally, I also see a gain from it. A lot of land burned down, and there's no insurance backing this. There's a lot of rich people that can provide their own insurance and back it, or rebuild off that new land with new material. You know, instead of wood, a lot of concrete and steel can be applied. I've heard now that they want to put you know, what they call this solar farms, or, what I mean. And that's a good idea, to get some solar farms. But what you really want to make sure happens is that the progression is happening. Let's not just forward our thinking to solar farming. Let's make sure that we're setting people up for future success, so this doesn't happen again. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people lost a lot of things. But again, this is my entitled opinion. From what I understand, or from what I'm grasping, it's just a lot of rich people. Because I was asking, is the hood burning? Are people from the hood like running away and like, yo, nah, son, I gotta get up out of Compton, gotta get up out of Watts. Nah, they saying it's in the rich area. If not really rich, the really nice upper area over there. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, I'm like, man, okay, shit is burned down. It's a tragedy. Now let's come up with a way for a lot of us to put our money together to make sure this doesn't happen again in the future. But it doesn't look like that's going to happen. What's going to happen is the government's going to assist, people are going to take their money and run. The only smart people that will stay behind will be the ones to own the rest of that land and rebuild that part of California. All right, that's just my entire opinion. Now, everyone's talking about the resniks and these theories, and I love a theory. You know what I mean? I love a theory, but it's insane for me to have to believe that the resniks need to give up all their water to help with the fire. Like I pay for, or I paid and made my sacrifices in life to own this water, and now you want me to use it for the fire? How did the fire start in the first place? We're not going to talk about that. I'm not going to use water to put this out. There should be other chemicals, other substances we can use to put these fires out instead of using water. Because water, I believe, is going to cause more damage. Anyway, that's what I believe. Water is just going to cause more damage, and then it's gonna make it a little bit more harder to avoid having this burnt water, ash water, go into our sewer systems, into our ocean. It's just a lot of bullshit. You know what I mean? This is my entitled opinion. My untitled opinion. They're applying all this resniks. They own this and like black people or people with no money and no education will always find someone else to blame besides not being prepared. That's the only thing I see, my entitled opinion, that I can blame it on. You wasn't prepared for a fire. They always have fires out there. So you're telling me you were looking forward to the insurance backing you again for this fire. Why? Oh, because their insurance? No, man, listen. You shouldn't be putting all your eggs in a basket for the insurance to cover your house if it gets on fire. You should have rebuilt this house after you bought it for a couple of million and made sure that this shit won't burn down. But they didn't. They bought the house, bought mansions, bought property, and then they went to work. They didn't think about future risks. They didn't do any history to see if this land is a potential land threat. Now they don't give a fuck. When the threat comes and the situation arises, let's all panic. That's why America keeps winning, and it keeps people in this state of fear, or in that state of whatever it is. It's my entitled opinion. Look what America does. America lets these fires happen. It's not like America lets it happen. America is visualizing what's happening. And they're like, okay, well, as people, we can definitely stop this. But then it sees that people don't want to stop it. People are just running. They're like, send the fire department. Send the inmates to put the fire out. Now, after all the rubble and everything is done, what do you think these people are going to do? They're all looking for money to rebuild. Yes, which is correct. And I understand, you lost everything. A lot of people lose things every day, but you can't tell me that you're richer than most of the people and you let this happen. You've got more money than a lot of people who aren't living in these places, and you're letting this happen. Come on, man. You got to be smarter. You know what I'm saying? Got to be smart. A lot of people were like, well, this is what they're doing to Hawaii. This is what they're. I'm like, no, no, no. Listen. I don't understand Hawaii. Okay, is Hawaii just full of people who are never engineers? Hmm? is Hawaii never educated any land or civil engineers. They were just like, nah, we just need sumo people here. We need, heritage here. We don't need any real foundational education to understand what the land is on. No. Hawaii has a volcano. The volcano erupted, shit got burned. You know? There's definitely ways now that we're in this time period of life, 2025, there's definitely preventative ways to prevent a lot of natural disasters that we as Americans or we as people just let happen. And I believe because it makes for a better outcome. I'm not for sure if it makes for better news, makes for a better rebuild or whatever the situation is. I don't really know who lives out in those areas or the specific cultures that do, but what I can tell you is that they're not going to, you know, band together to build a whole new Pasadena or Altadena or whatever that shit is. I was watching the 5150 show, and Craig said he's donating 50,000 to 55 families, and I was like, man, that sounds fucking great, man. I applaud you. I honor you for that. But I'm like, is that really going to stop future fires? You're not helping the problem either. What you need to do is invest in some engineers to come here and figure out a way so this doesn't happen again. No, 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 they won't do that. They'll just have Silicon Valley come up with some other shit besides something to stop a natural disaster. All the AI and all the intelligence we have just won't stop a natural disaster. It's just naturally going to happen, and we're just going to let it happen. That's what I see. This is my entitled opinion. Okay, this is just my untitled opinion. You know what I mean? I believe America banks off of all this turmoil and disaster. America's like, word, we're making bank. And then you hear Biden say, well, we're going to send each disaster person some relief, $770 of relief. Where's that relief coming from? Is this the same relief you were sending to the fucking other country? to Israel and them? Is this the same relief money? Because man, I'm starting to be like, you know what? For a country that's in debt and trillions in debt, we sure do have a lot of money to be helping motherfuckers out. You know, even if it's not our own people, we have a lot of money to help people out, and it's just insane to me. Come on, man, that doesn't make any sense to me. Get some engineers together so they can help you figure out a way to avoid this natural disaster. Start using materials that won't fucking wither away when the fire comes. Okay, start building houses out of concrete and steel. But what do I do? I mean, it's just my entitled opinion. All right. Let's get through some of the topics I have here written down. All right, let's go through this first one. Texting versus phoning. What do you think? My untitled opinion, I believe people do both. I know it's not I believe. People actually do both texting and phoning, but I believe people gear to a certain side due to how conversations may go. You know, me personally, I love being on the phone and I love texting. You know what I mean? But it also only works if the other party is conjoining or it's is at the same level. You know what I mean? I My conversation can only go as far if you're not interacting. Then it cuts short. Then I something in my mind lets me know that I'm doing too much, and then I stop the conversation. You know what I mean? But that's just a personal thing. A lot of people just love to talk on the phone. They rather talk on the phone than texting. A lot of people tell me a lot of information gets misconstrued during texting, and I don't really believe that. I believe things are misconstrued texting or through the phone. People just want to misconstrue shit. That's just what it is. I believe texting is way better and way fundamental because I can text you you know, everything I need right here. You know what I mean? I think phoning is something more in depth where you're trying to really get a sense of that person and that bond. You know what I mean? The texting is a general conversation, open and closed, just like that. Once you start getting on the phone, now there's tone, there's all this stuff and emotion, there's not a lot of tone in texting, but they can be. That's just my entitled opinion. You know, I don't see how people can be on the phone for hours and it's not a heightened conversation. I don't like conversations like that. Like I like to be on the phone and it's making my brain think. You know what I mean? I don't want to be on the phone and there's 20 minutes, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes of silence, off and on, off and on. That shit is boring. You know, I believe this is my entitled opinion. I believe a lot of women are boring on the phone. You know what I mean? With the same breath, I would say a lot of men are complicated on the phone. Okay. When I talk to a lot of women from a lot of younger women are always, have a lot of energy and a lot of conversation. As women get older, the conversation becomes more informational, you know, to get they're having conversation to obtain information from you, to understand more about where you're coming from. Um, Having conversation with younger women, they're doing that, but in the sense they're not really trying to get information from you. They're trying to give the information to you. They just like to talk. They're young, they're full of all this energy and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So again, but in the same breath, men get on the phone, or when I have conversations with men, this topic can be a topic of many topics, but you can also find yourself in a conversation with a man and then feel as though he's not really paying attention to what you're saying because he also has a lot going on in his head. You know what I mean? But that could be both ways. That's just my entitled opinion. A lot of times I get on the phone with women and unless she's going through something or unless she's one of those chakras and in-depth women, the conversation is very light, very light, very boring. You know what I mean? I don't really like that. I like to have conversations, open conversations. I even like to have the conversation, even if we're watching something. It could be totally two different things we're watching. You know what I mean? As long as the conversation you know, is beneficial. I don't want to say it's beneficial. Is to me, the conversation just has to be, it has to hype me, you know what I mean? Like, it has to be good for me, you know what I mean? I gotta be getting something from this conversation, you know what I mean? Not physically, mentally. That's just how I see texting. I'd rather text. I think shit can get really done quick with text. That's good. Phone conversation, I'm like, man, what do you want to talk to me about? Or do you just want to hear me breathe? A lot of people just like, oh, I just wanted to hear your voice. I'm like, that is a that's annoying to me. Wanting to hear my voice? Like, do you really want to hear my voice? Or you just want to hear my voice? You don't want to have nothing really to talk about. You just want to hear me breathe. That's annoying. Like, that to me just tells me that you've probably never had anyone to really talk to. So you're like, wow, someone wants to talk to me, so I just want to hear that person. Like, no, I'm not for that. You know what I'm saying? That's my entitled opinion. I'm always down for the texting and talking regardless of the other party because if I want to talk, I'll entertain it because I like to entertain things to provide my brain some stimulation. That's the word I was looking for. A lot of conversation I have, I'm looking for stimulation. If I don't get that stimulation from this conversation, I kind of want to hang up. You know, that's how I go about it. But that's my entitled opinion. You can be going about it totally different, but who knows? You know what I'm saying? Who knows? Okay, let's go to my next one. Know your worth in the market. Now, let's discuss this. So recently, I recently quit my job as a metering technician. I would say I quit. People would say I got fired. You know, on paper it would say I got laid off, but in real life I would say I quit that piece of shit. All right, I was with a big company. A multi-billion-dollar company that had me doing a lot of field work and in the same sense was giving me a lot of rope to hang myself. But I got that terminology when I first got the job. When I first got the job, they was like, "Well, this job will give you a lot of rope to hang yourself." And I couldn't understand it. I did understand it, but I was just like, why would the job give you rope to hang yourself? Like, don't they care about the people? And as I grew with the company, I was like, they don't really care about the people. They care about quarterly income. Okay, it's all about the money with these big companies. They really don't care about you. That's why the rope they give you can hang you. You know what I'm saying? I was working with people that really weren't guiding, mentoring, or putting me in a position for success. The job was draining. I was feeling burnt out, and on top of that, I was, hearing a lot of personal complaints that had nothing to do with me. You know what I mean? Like you have personal issues with yourself in your life. Don't bring that shit to work. Keep that shit to yourself. We can talk about it on break, but let's not do it all day at work. And that shit got toxic, and the environment over there is toxic. I just had to get the fuck out of it. So I left that job March. So we're in January now. So I've been out of work for a little bit. Wow. I haven't really been out of work. I found a part-time job, and I was with that part-time job, and then I ended up leaving that part-time job because the distance, not even because I ended up leaving that part-time job because my car wet the bed. My car shit the bed. In Massachusetts, they have the saying where they say, yeah, that, it shit the bed, it wet the bed. It means it's dead. It died, the car isn't working. So my Jeep stopped working, my work Jeep. So I just couldn't really go to work anymore. The location I was going was pretty far. And the time I had to start, there wasn't no bus or train for me to get there. And by the time I would get there, in order for me to complete an 8-hour shift, they weren't trying to leave the place open for another hour. So, anyways, I left that place, and now, it let it I left that place, and it put me into a position in my life where I felt like I couldn't find work. And that was like this is like the first time it ever happened to me because I've always been able to find work. I mean, I'm a very intelligent guy, um, background, skills, resume build, and all that. And I've always been able to find a job. It's never been a problem for me finding a job. But what I realized is the time I was looking for a job wasn't really a good time to look for a job. I was looking for it, end of Christmas, about to be New Year's. No job is really hiring. But in my head, because I was out of commission for a little while, I was like, Jesus Christ, I'm not reliable. I'm not needed in the work industry. But that wasn't the case. What the problem was, it was vacation, it was holidays, and a lot of people aren't in that state of hiring right now because a lot of people aren't in the office. And let me tell you, that was true. As soon as the New Year's passed, man, let me tell you, my phone was ringing off the hook. Like I done went to like 10, 15 interviews. Companies are calling me left and right. I'm getting a lot of offers, which now lets me know my worth in the market, which brings me back to my opinion about knowing your worth in the market. Okay. If you don't know your worth in the market, you're just gonna go to work and just look for like a dollar raise or a dollar increment for your pay. You have to really know your worth. Okay, before I got the job that I was in school and then in a different field. When I got this job, the job is a meter technician. I got this job and it was a brand new field to me, all new. So when I got in, I learned everything and I conquered. I had basically gained a whole new set of skills that I can apply outside on top of the skills I already had and on top of the school education. So now that makes me more detrimental outside. It makes me more forcible. So now I can apply this. When I got that job, before that I was working during Corona, and I was working for a drug factory that was making the coronavirus, right? And then I went back to school. And after that, I was like, man, what am I gonna do? I had plans and ideas to start my own business, but I was like, man, you can't jump into that without having the proper mentorship and guiding. You know what I mean? And that's what I was looking for. So I got that job. One of my mentors ended up leaving the job, so I was no longer being mentored. I was just by myself, which left a bad taste in my mouth and left a bad rapport with the company because I was like, man, you guys are not looking out for me. I'm doing a lot of work, but you're not really looking out for me. And I started to know my worth. When I started to know my worth, I started to get more work from the job. And people from the job are calling me to do a lot of responsibility shit. And I was like, word, you guys need me? I see my worth. And when I came in, I came in at like $21, because I was in school. And they were like, we'll start you at 25. And to me, because I was working an overnight job for a drug factory making the drug for like $23. So 25 was an upgrade. I was like, oh word, $25. I done jumped up from my 21, 23. You know, being a black man from the hood, sometimes you don't understand the games the market and the companies are playing with you. You see, they told me 23 as if I didn't know my own market value. But I was happy with it because I was getting 21 before, you know. So they told me 23, 25. I was like, word, $25 is great. A year went by and I was like, okay, great. I'm getting the $25. And then on top of that, we were getting like, I want to say a quarterly raise, or not even a quarterly raise. We would get a quarterly amount given to us out of pocket if the company did well, which was good. It was like a bonus. We got a bonus on top of making money. So, I was getting a bonus and making money. So it was good. And I was like, wow, I'm really making money. When I started to ask questions, because if you don't ask questions, no one's gonna tell you shit. I started to ask questions. I was like, wow, $25 is good, but what are you guys getting paid? Because you've been in this field, you work in this field. A lot of these guys were like, man, we're getting paid 28, 29, $30, 26, 27. I'm like, Jesus Christ. I was like, wait, wait, wait. I'm like, I'm getting the low minimum, the lowest here, and I've actually went to school. A lot of these guys didn't go to school. A lot of these guys came from construction backgrounds, got taught this trade, and then blew up from here. I was like, I got picked up from school, completing my bachelor's, and I got brought in. Knowing that, they still gave me a low amount. And then when they figured out they was giving me a low amount, they were like, you know what, Chris, we'll give you the correct amount. And then we'll retro pay you. And I was like, great, that's great. Finally, in my mind, I was like, some respect. You guys are now respecting my worth. You know what I mean? So now we gone through that stage. I was getting the good pay. I was getting great pay. I'm like, right, this is good. Again, in my mind, because of where I come from, I'm like 23 to 25, $26 is great money. I was making good money. And I hired one of my friends. I was like, man, I can get you a job where I work. I got some strings I could pull for you. I get you in. I got him in. And the job smacked me in my face and gave him $1 more than me. And he didn't even go to school. So that right there already put me back mentally because I couldn't understand why the job would play such games with me knowing I was trying to work hard and do what they wanted me to do. They gave him that $1, and when I found out, I was like, I get it. I hired him. You guys gave me a little hiring bonus for putting him on, but you guys paid him more than me, and I actually went to school for this. When they saw that, they were like, "Okay, we'll retro pay you again." And I was like, "Man, you know what? I'm tired of this retro pay bullshit. You need to be checking how much I'm getting paid and give me the value that everyone else is getting paid." When I brought this up as a discussion, they were making it seem as if I shouldn't be opening my mouth to talk such. And I was shocked. I was like, "What? This is my money." And I brought it up to them. They was like, "Well, if I had known, I would have corrected this." And I was like, "You know what? You wouldn't have known because it's not your money. Why would you be checking my money to make sure I'm happy? You won't. This is a company. You're making sure your money's good and the company's money's good. You're not worried about how much I'm getting fucking paid or if my check is good or not. You're not." And that rubbed them the wrong way. And I was like, "Why is it rubbing you the wrong way that I'm being sincere about what is here?" They didn't like that. All right. We went through a whole debacle. I ended up leaving. I was fine with it. When I left, they were looking at me like, "What are you gonna do with yourself? Like, what's out there? What can you really do?" And again, I'm never shocked at what white people tell you when they fire you. And this was one white guy and one Egyptian guy, and I'm looking at these guys like, "This is insane." I have this Egyptian guy here looking at me as if this is the last step in my life. And I had told them before, I was like, "Man, listen, I went to prison. I went to federal fucking prison. There is nothing this world can do to me that I haven't seen, felt, or been through. Losing this job isn't shit. There's a million other jobs out there. If I lose this job, is it going to stop my growth?" And to me, that's what it looked like they were telling me. Them and UPS are two companies who made it stern to let me know that losing this job will put you in a position where you won't be successful. And is what drove me insane. I think that even drove me to be better. You know, it drove me to know my real worth. I went to school. I got the education. I went and got a job that was outside of my field in an energy field, and I dominated that with no teaching. They didn't teach me nothing at that job. I taught myself and had to learn from mistakes what I was doing wrong. You know, they made taught me some things, but man, a lot of that shit I had to learn at on hand, at sight, at the fire. With that being said, I knew my worth. I know I'm worth more money. So when I started putting out applications and I started to get responses and offers and all these stuff, I was like, you see, God is good. And all the time, God is good. But I also know my worth. I know who I am and what I can bring to the table. And I'm not just all talk. You know what I'm saying? I'm a hands-on man. You know what I mean? I'm a man who can learn and adapt quickly. And that is a man that is needed in the industry. You know what I mean? You can adapt and learn quick. They need you. Because training someone for for so many months and then he doesn't still doesn't understand it is a waste of money and time. I got that job, barely got any training, went out there and I was killing it in the field. No problem. They needed me to go here, 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 here. I was there. You know what I mean? But when it was time for them to let me go, they let me go and it was like, fuck them. And I was like, fuck y'all. I'm gonna be successful with or without you. You know what I'm saying? You have to know your worth in this company world, in the working world. If you don't know your worth, they'll give you whatever they think you deserve. I'm not saying to go out there and tell them you need $1 million. That'd be a good start, but that's not logical. You know, go out there and look at your skills and tell me what your skills are worth. My skills are worth money. Okay, I can teach you things. I can tell you things you never knew. You know what I mean? And in the same sense, you could possibly tell me things I never knew as well. But are you going to be telling me things I never knew to further my experience and my education? Or are you just going to be telling me things that I didn't know as information of shit I need to know? Me, I'm going to be telling you something that's going to be changing how you operate for the rest of your life because no one told you this. I was told a lot of things in the industry a lot of people didn't know. And this is what I tell people. You know what I mean? That's why I know my worth. You should know your worth. But again, this is just my untitled opinion. My untitled opinion is know your worth, go out there and fight for your pay. Don't play these games with these companies and be like, well, they sent me this offer. I need this. I need no, 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 no. Listen, listen. The pay is a good thing. What you want is security. And what provides you security at a company is letting them know that you want to be included in whatever makes the company rich. That right there will set you up for success. All right. If you keep chasing the dollar amount, the dollar increment for an hourly pay, that's where they're going to keep you. That's why a lot of us don't advance. A lot of us get comfortable with the $35, 32 an hour, being at that supervisor position, not doing shit, and then you're just stuck there because you got the supervisor title. Now you're like, oh, I'm good. Me, I'm not. My stomach is not full there. I was a supervisor. I was still more hungry. I don't want to just be the supervisor. I want to be the supervisor manager and be still working with the team on the field. You know what I mean? I want to be hands-on everywhere. I want to be useful and be needed wherever I can apply my skills. That's why you need to go to the market. Okay. And a lot of times because you haven't worked in certain markets or certain companies, they can make you feel like you're not wanted. But I'm telling you now, you have a lot of skills that they're looking for. You're just not applying it, and you don't know how to apply it to them yet. That's all it is. All the skills you have. You could be a streamer. You know what I mean? As a streamer, you have a lot of communication skills. That's very needed. You know what I mean? You're basically one of a communication expert on these streaming. You should go out there and be able to talk and get customers and get clients. You could probably sell anything if they taught you the selling aspect of it. That again, this is just my type of opinion. We'll move on. Let's see how long we've been in this already. I feel like we've been in it for a little while. Ah, half an hour. Okay, cool. All right, we have half an hour into it. Um, hood cultures to leave you behind. Oh, it's my entitled opinion about this. There's a lot of hood ethics or hood politics that want to leave you behind. Like, yo, why are you going to school? That's a hood politic to leave you behind. Another one is, you know, the car that you drive somehow exudes the money you make. And I don't believe that's true. I believe that's just a hood mentality because a lot of rich people don't have a fancy car, but their house is fucking beautiful. They're okay driving that Subaru or that Saab. You know what I mean? They don't need the Maybach. They don't need the Range Rover and all that other shit. They don't need the Bentley, but they have Bentley money. But again, this is just the hood thought, the hood mind. You know what I mean? To keep you behind. The hood mind would tell you, don't go to that job. They're gonna drag you in. And I believe because you believe these people, that can also stop you from being great. You know, hood politics. Like don't like again, like don't get an education or don't talk smart or why are you using big words? A lot of that is to keep you behind. A lot of that thought and mentality is to keep you trapped in the hood because nobody in the hood wants another man to see, to be better than them. So they want to keep you in line and keep you in place. A band of struggling people don't want to see a successful person in the struggle with them. Okay, that's just my entitled opinion. They want to struggle together. They want to struggle and struggle together. They want everyone to be successful, not just one person. It's my entitled opinion. Okay. Moving on. You can always revamp. I believe every 5, 10 years you should revamp. Even as a man, you should revamp your culture, your thoughts. You should revamp and rebrand. You know, you should revamp and rebrand because growing is essential. You know what I mean? You want to grow and you want to grow and be better. Staying stagnant or staying in that one particular place isn't going to provide you the necessary need you're seeking for. You know what I'm saying? You want to go out there and you want to revamp. You know what I'm saying? And don't see it as you're losing yourself. No, you're just getting better with time. You're learning new shit and you're getting better and you're applying that. You know what I mean? So it is always good to revamp. You know what I mean? Wake up and be new. Be a new you. Be out there and be different today. Be so different that they won't understand what happened and what was the change. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, revamp yourself. Make some new friends, new colleagues, new books, you know what I'm saying? New ideas, new clothes, try new shit. You know what I'm saying? That's just my entitled opinion. I believe it's essential to growing for you to revamp. It's part of an essential life. You need that shit. Um, the more you know mentally and physically can get you far. This is true. In my untitled opinion, the more you know mentally and physically can get you far. But the more you know mentally is just what you know mentally. Knowledge is good, but a lot of knowledge is unuseful knowledge. You know what I'm saying? A lot of knowledge they're giving you, they're giving it to you and you're not doing anything with it. You know what I'm saying? With that being said, my entire opinion about that is that a lot of physical knowledge about physical aspects of life can change and provide you with the necessary, growth or necessary things you need to be better, you know what I mean, or to get a better understanding in life. You can get all the mental you want, but physically you'll be lost in the world if you don't understand it. You know what I mean? That's just my entitled opinion. You can read all the books you want, read them all, read it all, but if you haven't been in the street, you won't know what the street is like. You haven't been in the jungle, you won't know what the jungle is like. Yeah, you read all the books about what the jungle can do to you, what kind of plants are out there, what can kill you, but have you actually been in the jungle? Yeah, you read about all the gangs and shit, but have you actually been with gangs? Have you actually set foot at where the gangs be? Being in that physical state is different than mentally knowing. You can be mentally prepared, but are you physically prepared? You can be mentally prepared for the fight until a motherfucker slaps you. You were preparing in your head mentally how to block this slap until the motherfucker slapped you. And when they slapped you, you were physically unprepared. Now you call this an assault. I'm assaulted. No, 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 no. This is an assault. You were prepared mentally, but forgot the physical aspects of this. You thought your body was going to tell it, yeah, since I'm prepared mentally, my hands are just going to block. No, you have to be physically prepared for this type of fight. Ain't no mentality you can have that's going to prepare you for arm to arm or hand to hand battle or hand to hand combat. Nothing in your head is going to prepare you for that. Your body has to be physically prepared for that type of strenuous work. Again, this is just my entitled opinion. You know what I mean? Why are women discussing more than men what makes man a man? I see this a lot. I don't know why it's happening. I don't know. To tell you the truth, I do know. Okay. I see that years and years or centuries or however they want to label it, man has been telling women they need to cook, clean, do this. But I don't think as a man we were saying that this makes you more of a woman or less of a woman. I believe as a man we were saying this is more in the lane of what a lot of women do and can provide in that sense. And in the same breath, women took that as some sort of shame or some sort of you know assault on their character, that they are now telling men what makes man a man. And a lot of these women fatherless, so they don't even know what a man is. A lot of these women grew up with a stepdad. They still don't know what a man is. It's so culturally fucked up when a lot of women are finding a way to bring the black man down by telling the black man what he needs to be a man. As if outside, when he goes outside, the world isn't telling him what he needs to be a man already or what he needs to be a proper man. You know what I mean? The woman that's telling us. You know what I'm saying? And I think as a culture, as a society, or as a people, we need to stop that. Stop having these podcast discussions on what a man should be, what I mean, or what a man should do. Let's have more discussions on what we should do as a people to make ourselves better, not just a specific gender, as a people, as a society, as a country. A lot of us in America are so selfish, so self centered, they're only worried about ourselves. We're only worried about a specific group of people, and then when we're done with them, we they'll make another subject. You know what I'm saying? It- There's no battle really between what man or a man can do for you or what makes him different. You know, Men are having discussion with other men what makes them different. A woman, I believe, in my opinion, has no place to tell a man what makes him a man. In the same sense, a man has no place to tell a woman what makes her a woman. She can have child, she can give birth, she can do these things. I'm in no place to tell you what makes you a better woman. I can present things to make us a better group. You know what I'm saying? To make us a better bond. You know what I mean? That's the only thing I could present. But to tell you things to make you a better woman or say that's what makes a woman is insane. To me, what makes a woman is nurturing. But everyone's a lot of people can nurture. You know what I'm saying? But that's just my entitled opinion. All right. Moving on. Moving on. We're getting through here. You know what I'm saying? I should have put my watch on to keep the timing, but whatever. Next topic here. Learn how to use people. Now, I mentioned this to somebody, and they was like, "Man, the way you say it sounds so bad." And I was like, "You know what? We're in a time in a state where everything is where it's the tone and the deliverance that the people are having a problem with. It's not with the facts that's being presented to them. It's the tone and the deliverance. Are you understanding that the tone and the deliverance is what's bothering them, not the actual facts that's giving to them. All right. Learn how to use people because you are being useful to people as well. All right. Stop being friends with people that you can just talk to. Okay. Yeah, let me reiterate that. Find people you can talk to, yes, but find people who are useful for you to talk to that are benefiting your growth. Okay. Yes, you have, your friends you grew up with, but now at a certain age, you have to start looking at your friends in the proximity of where your lives are at. You know, if your friend is advancing, then you need to be advancing. You know, you should be learning how to use your friend because now he has new qualities. He has gained new skills. And then in return, your friend should be using you to his advantage, where you guys can be successful or be of use to the world. You know what I mean? A lot of times we're not doing that. A lot of times, a group of people are just hanging around with a group of people who are of no use to each other. The only use that they have is that they're cool, they make jokes, they have this bond. That's it. They're of no fucking use. If electricity was to burn out, no one would know how to rig anything, no one would know how to test anything, no one would know how to make a fire. They're all fucking clueless. And I think that's where, as a society, we need to stop. Stop having clueless friends. Start organizing people around you that you can use and that can use you as well, that can benefit everyone. Because you hanging around me and I can't benefit off of you makes me not even want to be around you. I think that's why a lot of times I stop hanging around with a lot of my friends. You know what I mean? I stopped hanging around a lot of my friends because I, I I mean I did time and I was like fuck this street shit. So I was like, no, I'm not hanging around with these guys anymore. But I also stopped hanging around with a lot of these guys because I didn't see any real beneficial gain that was making me grow. I already was in the same lane with them doing the same shit. They weren't doing anything different than me. You know what I mean? I may have been doing things different from them. I had a better car. I may have been working and been hustling in the street, you know what I'm saying? Or, I may have not cut Poppy off and I was paying the plug, you know what I'm saying? I was using or trying to use my friends, but when I realized I couldn't use my friends, I stopped being friends with them. They were no beneficial use to me. Yes, I wanted to get around guys and hang out and chill, drink, but once that was out the window for me, I felt, I didn't feel good. I was like, "Geez, what the fuck did we do? What did I gain from this?" You know? I've even met people and they're like, "Oh, you don't have any friends?" I'm like, I asked them, "Do you have friends?" They're like, "Yeah, I have a lot of friends, college friends." I'm like, "Yeah, do you really? What beneficial things do you friends, help you with?" Or they're just an ear for you to fucking talk. I don't like that shit, man. I'm someone that you can benefit. I'm going to be giving you, if you ask for my opinion, I'm going to be straight up with you, whether you like it or not, you know? And also, I'm always going to give you information that you didn't know because I learned it. That's just how I am. If I learn something, I'm going to teach you something so you can know the same things I know with hopes that in return you can teach me. You know what I'm saying? Let me go back a little bit. A lot of the friends I had were beneficial. I did learn a lot from them. But like I said, there was a proximity of that learning where it stopped. That's where their learning capped. But my learning, it doesn't cap. I always need to know more. I need to get more information. You know what I'm saying? A lot of my friends were capped at that. Like we're in this game, I'm capped at knowing this game. And I was like, man, that's just can't be me. I can't just know this game. I want to know everything around the game, above the game, below the game. And they were looking at me like I was crazy. You know what I mean? I was just like, man, that's just how I think. And a lot of them were like, man, Chris, you're gonna, yo, you know what I'm saying? You'll make something of yourself before we do. And I didn't want to see it like that. I wanted to see this, man. I will make a way for all of us to come through. You know what I mean? I'm never trying to make the success road for just for me. You know what I mean? I'm trying to open the door for me so we all can walk through. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to create the business so we all can have some money in here. You know what I mean? I don't want to eat off of you, but you know what I'm saying? But let's eat off each other. You know what I'm saying? That's just my entitled opinion. You got to learn how to use people, man. Whether it's friends, relatives, you got to learn how to use these people to your best way. You know what I mean? And in the same sense, provide them with that same beneficial experience. You can use me, you know what I mean, to benefit yourself, man. But don't do it in a negative way. You know what I mean? Because no one wants anything negative. You know what I'm saying? We want to be able to pos- positively affect your life. You know what I mean? Not in a negative way. All right. Moving on. Again, these are just my untitled opinions. Bitch, giggle if you want, but you heard what I said. It's my untitled opinions and shit. Now, listen. A lot of people don't like the word bitch. All right, I don't. It's not that I like the word bitch. I just say bitch because this is what word I could use at the time. But it's not in no way to disrespect anybody. You know what I'm saying? I would never in no way call a woman that or look to disrespect her. I have a mother. I respect my mother. I have a daughter, and I would never do things like that in return, I don't want karma to come back and do that shit to any of mine. You know what I'm saying? That's how I roll. Next topic. The effects of gambling and gambling commercials. This is my entitled opinion. I swear America makes makes it very known that we're lab rats in this America game. You know, whether it be alcohol, gambling, sex, tobacco, firearms, America provides all these things to you in a commercial and then in return tells you you're sick for taking these. You're an alcoholic. You drink too much, you're an alcoholic. America provides you with the alcohol and then provides you with commercials for the alcohol and then provides you with bars with the alcohol and then provides you with concerts with the alcohol. Right? And then gonna turn around and tell me I got a sickness because I'm drinking. Uh, I'm an alcoholic, right? It's insane. It's insane. You know, you before FanDuel and all these gambling things came around, they were gambling. They were bookies. You can go out there and get a bookie, sure, and then deal with that. Get yourself killed, get yourself hurt. But the gambling problem wasn't so big. But now the gambling problem is is huge. You know, it has grown more than you can possibly believe. They're putting gambling commercials. Now, certain stations are gambling headquarters. ESPN has a gambling thing now. MGM has a gambling thing now. Everyone is about to have their own gambling platform for you to gamble your hard-earned money and your bill money with them. You know what I mean? It's insane. It's all a Ponzi scheme the government does to get us to give back to them. And then what happens is when we finally, we pour all our money into these people, they leave the country and they put their money in offshore accounts. They don't put their money back into us. Fuck that. You wish they would put their money back into us. Hell no. We have to elect officials who are going to go around and look around to then, want to put money back into the community. But they're not. They're taking their fucking gambling wins and they're gone. You think they're taking their gambling wins and making the city better? No. Hell no. Taking their gambling wins and buying a car, house, and getting the fuck out of here. Buying islands, property, and shit like that. They're not doing shit. You know, there's a gambling crisis out there, and America is making pure money off of it. And to tell you the truth, here's another big thing. A lot of the apps that are making these gambling apps aren't even from American made people. Okay? That's another untitled opinion I don't think none of you guys know. A lot of these FanDuel wasn't even made by an American person. He was an American student. Yeah, sure. FanDuel, DraftKings, a lot of these shit weren't made from people who were really born here. Nah, man. People weren't born here. They came here, migrated here, family migrated here, got born here, and they adapted the idea. And now they're gonna be making this money to help their real family out, not the American dream. No. American dream is for the suckers to try to live out. You know what I'm saying? It's my entitled opinion. I'm moving on. Just moving on. All right. I'm telling you, every day I see a gambling commercial on. I see more gambling. I see more gambling and pharmaceutical commercials than I see of any other. You know what I mean? They're taking over McDonald commercials. They're taking over Walmart commercials every day. There's more. There's more aid preventative, gay preventative commercials along with gambling than there is of health risk commercials. You know, weight watching commercials, education commercials, none of that shit. And they make you pay for the cable to give you these commercials you don't even ask for. That's insane. Imagine having to pay a bill for a service for commercials you do not want to see, that you don't even agree on. You know? The politics behind what these channels present to you is insane. Like, come on, man. I'm paying a bill and you telling me I have no say on what I can see? It's insane, man. We should sue the cable company. My entitled opinion, because they're putting that shit on the TV blatantly. They're putting all that shit on the TV to misconstrue us, to confuse us, and it's working because none of us are saying shit. Continuing on, all right. That's just my entitled opinion, all right. All right. The next topic, reggae versus Afro beats versus reggae tone. I don't think it's called reggae tone. I think it's called something else. Uh, when I think about it. when it comes to mine, you know what I'm saying? But it's not reggaeton. They got some new reggae, Spanish reggae out there. You know what I mean? And let me see if I can find out what it's called. What's the new Spanish reggae called? I forgot. What is Spanish reggae called? Reggaeton. Um, whatever, man. Anyways, anyways. I think reggae is slowly taking a back seat, but I think reggae is always taking a back seat. I think reggae has always been the creator that's sitting back watching people take from it. You know what I mean? And it's sad to say that I also believe Afrobeats is the same way. I believe Africans have also been creating a lot of this stuff material and then just sitting back and letting people reap and take from it and never giving back. You know what I mean? Um we're now in the age of Afrobeats is crazy and a lot of the Spanish music is crazy right now. You know what I mean? A lot of Spanish artists are out. They're all killing the game. They like Spanish drill, Spanish reggaeton. There's all that, and it's making a big impact. But a lot of that came from its original creator, the reggae, all right, from Jamaica, all right, from the yard man. But none of them want to go back and say that's true. Or none of them actually be like, yo, praise Beanie Man, praise Vibes Cartel, praise all the reggae artists who actually made, you know, the entrance for us to get in, to get in here. They're not doing that. But it is what it is. Afro beats is hot right now. Reggaeton is hot right now. I mean, Burna Boy, all these guys are killing it. I mean, there was a time in America where being African was frowned upon. That was a frowned upon culture in America. America had to break that barrier and make it inclusive where now everyone's doing all these Afrobeat dances. They're putting Afrobeat music on everything and remixing rock music with Afrobeat. They're putting a twist with the Afrobeat on everything. The Africans are winning. They're coming up. I applaud them, man. That's what's up. Shout out to everyone on the Afrobeat thing. That's what's up. If one of my chatters could tell me what the reggaeton is called now, I know what it's called. But anyways, let's go on. Let's keep pushing. Effects of growing up with women versus men. Now, my entitled opinion is if you grew up with more women, you become more emotionally acceptable to things than if you were raised by a group of more men or more males. You know what I'm saying? This is my entitled opinion. I grew up with more women in my family than males. Okay, with that being said, I was susceptible to a lot of their emotional rage, their emotional logic, their emotional thinking, which which raised me up. You know what I'm saying? If I didn't dis if I didn't, disassociate myself with them after a while as I grew up and started to hang outside, I would have been left under that thought, just thinking emotionally. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times that's what happens when you're being raised by let me make this clear. 80% of the time, if you're raised by women, you're raised to think with emotion. When you're raised by men, you're raised to think with logic. You're raised to think actually what's presented to you instead of the thoughts in your head. You know what I'm saying? And as I got older, I realized, that plays a lot of into our relationships, into our life, and into our life being as well. If you're raised with mostly women and you haven't gotten that aspect of your life to understand logical sense, then yes, a lot of the times you're running about life running off of emotion. Okay, you're doing everything based off of emotions because you were raised by an emotional woman. A lot of times where a lot of men we're unable or incapable to be emotional 24/7. We may have room for this emotion to arise in us for an hour, maybe 2 3, but within that time frame as a man, we have to exit that out because that can leave us vulnerable to being weak, to being depressed, to being broken down. So a lot of us are in a constant fight with that. So we don't think that way. You know what I'm saying? But that's just my entitled opinion. There's a lot of people who are grown who are raised with women and they have logic, you know. But again, you have to see where that woman was raised with. Was that woman raised with a lot of men? So if she was raised with a lot of men. She then in return got the logical sense from the men. You know what I mean? Which I said it's a high chance of that's a lot of women like that. A lot of women are raised by men and they have that logical sense. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of them are raised by other women who are just left alone to just go off of emotion. And going off of emotion can lead you into a bad place, into a lot of negative shit because you're running off of emotion, not logic. You know what I mean? Again, this is just my untitled opinion, you know? Like, what do I know? You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of shit, but you're gonna tell me I don't know shit, right? Anyways, moving on. Moving on. You know what I'm saying? How much time we been here already? Oh shit, we've already been in here an hour. Okay, I got some more. I'm not gonna make this too long. I don't want to be taking up all your day. What else are you fucking doing with your life? You know what I mean? You're listening to podcasts, you're streaming. What are you doing? You ain't doing shit. You know what I'm saying? The hell? Let's keep going. I hate saying because it makes it seem like I don't have anything to say, but I do have something to say. I always have something to say. What are we doing now differently to prepare our kids? That's a good question. My entitled opinion, I don't think we're doing anything differently to prepare our kids. I think we're doing the same shit like before and leaving our kids with worse shit, you know, with hope that they'll figure it out. I hope with this generation, I'm even me, I'm trying it myself, I'm trying to set my daughter up where she's set, but in the same sense, I'm not trying to set my daughter up to the point where she's, riding off of everything I did. I want her to experience and go through things and understand how shit works. You know what I'm saying? I want her to go through a little bit of the struggles and understand. You know what I mean? Because I believe if you don't go through the struggles, you won't know. You won't know. So yeah, I'm setting my daughter up, my kid, to be somewhat financially stable, where she's not out here looking for a man to financially help her. She's looking for a man to be there for her emotionally, physically and all that, and then the money can come in after, you know what I'm saying? Or she can make the decision where she's like, I have some money. I don't come from a poor family, but you need to have that admiration where you need to want to have, or you need to have the admiration of a go-getter. You know what I'm saying? You need to have that hustler's mentality. You know what I mean? Because my daddy was a hustler, but I'm not gonna date no drug dealer, but I am gonna date Mr. Wall Street who goes out there and hustles. Mr. Insurance Man who goes out there and hustles these insurances. You know what I mean? The field tech guy who goes out there and troubleshoots this and you know what I'm saying, and hustles, the products. You know what I'm saying? That's why I believe that again, it's my entitled opinion. I don't think a lot of us are doing that. I believe a lot of us are just focused on ourselves, a lot of us weren't probably the star child. So when a lot of us get kids, we're like, oh well, it's about me, it's about me, it's about me. And I think that's just fucking selfish. If you out there and you have kids, it can never be about you anymore. Everything you do is for your kid. You know what I mean? It can never be about you anymore because you fucked up and went outside and provided the world with more responsibilities. The world didn't ask you to go and sleep with the girl condomless and make kids. The world never asked you for that. You gave the world a promise that you can give them a kid and take care of it. So fucking do your job. You know what I mean? Make sure your kids are set up. Don't just set them up with what you think is good now. You need to set them up with what is fucking needed. Social media is there and open and it's telling you set your kids up with these type of funding so they can be great. Put money away for them in here and here. So in 10, 15 years, 20 years, they're good. That's what we need to start doing. You know, we need to start investing in our own kids because what I believe is going to happen is once you invest in your child, that in return is an investment in you. If your child is successful, you are successful. You know what I'm saying? You are top tier success. If someone under you became successful. All right, that's hard to do. It's hard to go out there and get a group and make someone successful in your group. A lot of people out there, they don't do it. It fails horribly in front of them. You know what I mean? Um, okay, here's another one. Like I said, I hate saying selfishness versus the thought of being heartbroken. My untitled opinion, I believe the state of relationships are people being selfish. I believe now we've gone to the time where people have grown up seeing their mother abused, their mother, not happy, and in their eyes, they're seeing their mother abused, their mother not happy, their mother not who they want their mother to be. But what they don't understand is that their mother is happy. Their mother has made a sacrifice in order to do something for the bigger cause. But as kids and as we grow up, they don't see that, or they're making a choice not to see that. Where I'm going with this, again, this is my entitled opinion. Where I'm going with this is I'm starting to see that people are making the choice to disregard relationships solely off of what they seen their parents and grandparents go through, which to me is a slap in the face. All right, because it's like, so you basically hate your mom and your father. I know I love them. Then if you love them, then why aren't you out there showing what love is? Well, my mother got beat and my mother wasn't happy. My mother stayed home and she didn't work and my father worked. Like, so the fuck what? Did you have food? Did you have clothes on your back? Did you have Christmases? Was the house taken care of? Or are you just worried about what that lady's fucking doing? So now you're susceptible to changing your life norms, which is insane. In order to have a successful business, people have to make sacrifices. In order to have a successful relationship, people have to make sacrifices. In order for anything to be good, people have to make sacrifices. And what's happening now is, again, this is my entitled opinion, they've disregarded these sacrifices and are just applying the sacrifices to their selfishness. Like, I'll just go get a cat. I'll go get a dog. Die alone. I don't wanna be in a relationship because, the man isn't going to listen to what I say, or the man's going to yell at me, or it's always something that's triggering them, as if being in a relationship from what they see in other life is such a bad thing, but that's what they've grown up to. A lot of these kids weren't grown single, they grown up with their mother fucking or their daddy fucking, or they grow up with both their parents still together. Or they grew up with their parents still together and getting a divorce. You grew up with love in your house, but you're going outside with disdain love. Like with, nah, I'm not loving. I don't want my heart broken, which is understandable. No one wants their heart broken. But you going about it that way is just unfair for the whole world because you're not giving the world a chance to show you the beautifulness of love or the beautifulness of the world. All you're seeing is just yourself. And people around you slowly will start to show you what the real meaning of the world is, your true meaning is. You know what I'm saying? Your true call. Your true call is for you never to be alone. You grew up with cousins, relatives, family members, and now you're telling me you're 35, 40, 50, you're fucking alone. You only have a group chat with these people and that's it. Come on, man. You gotta do better. You gotta do better. You know, And even though you may not have a kid or in a relationship, you can go out there and still provide people with love. You can go out to the shelters, give out soup, go out to places, give out clothes, you know. You can be different and give love. You know what I'm saying? Not to say that your heart won't be broken. There's in the case there's times where you still could go outside and be heartbroken. It won't have to be a relationship to do that for you. You know. But again, a lot of us are seeing that. Oh well, at least it isn't one sole person that's breaking my heart because that's just unbearable. You know, which is insane because I'm pretty sure God be breaking their heart, but they still believe in God and shit. You know what I'm saying? It's my entitled opinion. Don't sue me. Um, do again. Oh, I'm gonna try to stop saying that. I'm just gonna say moving on. Moving on. Next subject here, the next line here. We have. Do people ever tell you who taught them about relationships? Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Have you ever been with someone? This is my entire opinion. Well, this is a question, not even untitled opinion. This is a question before the untitled opinion. Have you ever been with someone and asked them, like, who the fuck taught you how to suck dick? Who taught you about sex? Who taught you about making another person happy? Who taught you about love? Who taught you about being with someone? And what did you learn? I think we don't ask that question enough. I think the act of finding love, mysteriously and in that way and getting all that fear, it's what brings people together, but also brings in a damaging relationship because you're not explaining to the other one what you were taught. You could have come from a battered home where the father was constantly beating the mother, and then that's what you think is a relationship. But you didn't tell your girl that until it was too late for her to realize that's where you came from because she didn't do any fucking research. And that's another problem. Women aren't doing research on none of these men. They're fucking them, sleeping with them, and then realizing that the next few weeks he beat her ass. Oh my god, he beat me. Where do you think he learned that from? And out of all the time, he just woke up that day and beat you. Nothing happened. Nothing arose prior. He just got out of his bed before he could piss. He was just like, "Let me beat her ass in the bed." Like, make it make sense, right? Why don't you know any of these guys before you actually give up your insides to them? Why don't you know any of these guys before you actually say, "I'm gonna have a child with them," and then in return distance them from the child? Hmm? Why don't parents be like, "Girl, before you go out there into this world, ask these people who they are, where they come from, who their daddy is, who their mama is." And I always tell my daughter that. That's one thing I make sure I drill that into my daughter. Every time I get up with my daughter, I always tell her, look around your friends, look around the people around you. Okay, your daddy is here for you, here, present, not too far away. A lot of your friends don't have that, and if they do, they have a family together where all of them are in that house. You know what I'm saying? You have to look at that. You have to see your friends for what they are. You know, not to say not to be their friends, but you have to see where they come from to understand where they're coming from. You know what I mean? I always tell her that. I'm like, look around. A lot of your friends, like, look around. We go shopping. I buy these expensive sneakers. Now look at your friends. Your friends don't have that luxury of the luxury that you have. You know what I'm saying? You need to understand that everyone comes from a different upbringing. You know, I make sure I teach my daughter that. You know what I'm saying? I make sure I let her know that you gotta look around you. All right, you gotta look around you, not like everybody else. All right, you are not even in the same league as some of these girls. Okay, you are way above them. Your daddy's present, your mother's present, and your daddy makes sure you have logical sense. Okay, your daddy isn't out here belittling your mother. He isn't disrespecting your mother. Your father gives money. You know what I'm saying? You are taken care of with no complaints. You know what I'm saying? They might be once in a blue moon where the shit goes left, but that's just life. You know what I'm saying? And she understands that. My daughter's an understanding kid where she's like, I've always had things all my life. So if my dad doesn't give it to me now, I'm not gonna die. You know what I mean? It is what it is. I maybe aren't deserving of what I'm asking for. He just doesn't have it right now. And she understands that. That's why, my kid's a very understanding kid. I make sure she is. You know what I'm saying? And we all should make sure our kids are understanding of what's being given to them as parents. You know what I'm saying? And what's being provided to them as parents. I always tell my kid, like, yo, the shit I provide to you, a lot of your friends aren't getting. You know what I mean? I look around, like, yeah, I'm still young. You know what I'm saying? I still have life in me. A lot of your friends, their fathers are old as dirt. You know what I'm saying? Barely can move. They're on their last 2, 4 years at work. They're about to retire. You know what I'm saying? Some of these moms are old. They don't. Some of our friends don't even live with their mom. They live with their grandmother. I'm like, oh, so you got to take that into consideration. Got to understand what's going on around you. You got a chain on. You got $200 sneakers. You flee. You got headphone, laptops, iPads. You got all that shit. You know what I'm saying? You got to understand. Outside, you looking well taken care of. So apply that when you go outside. Understand that you need to be around people who are well taken care of themselves and well taken care of mentally and physically. You know what I mean? That's just my entitled opinion. You know what I'm saying? Continuing on, moving on. See that? See that? Comfortability over fear. To tell you the truth, I rather fear over comfortability. I think the only time I'm comfortable is when I'm sleeping or in my bed. I think that's the only possible time I'm comfortable. But even then, I fear something can come or something can arise. You know what I'm saying? So I work better under those pretense or those that thought of fear. You know what I mean? I can't really work off of comfortability. If I get too comfortable, I get too lazy. I don't want it as much. You know what I'm saying? When I have that fear in me, that fear makes me fear that I'm fearing that I can lose this chance, or I can not be shit, or you know what I'm saying? There's fear of my potential not reaching where it should be. So that's the fear that's in me, but that's the fear that drives me as well. I believe a lot of us have fear that drives us, but also we also have a lot of us that have fear that brings us back. You know what I'm saying? So with that fear bringing you back, a lot of people use the comfortability to push them forward, but the comfortability isn't really pushing them forward. It's just keeping them stagnant. In their mind, they feel moving forward. They're walking, 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 but they're not really walking. They're just standing in place. They're just really on a treadmill, just running in place and not really going anywhere. You know what I'm saying? That's just my entitled opinion. Get over your comfortability and enter into fear. You know what I'm saying? Enter into that fire knowing that you can put the fire out. You know, if you're gonna enter the fight with the comfortability that you can just run, then what the fuck is that for? You know, what are you doing? You're not doing nothing but running. You know what I'm saying? Are the wealthy black people really looking out? Um, oh, jeez. Are the wealthy black? I think the wealthy black people are looking out, but I don't think the lower class or the people can actually physically see that working. You know what I mean? The government is so big that even if a black person or a black wealthy man was doing something, the government is already in a certain state that it just precedes that. You know, the wealthy black man could be doing something for community, and then the government is giving the community food stamps. You know, the community is going to look at the government doing more than what the wealthy black man is doing. You know what I'm saying? That's just my entitled opinion. I believe a lot of wealthy black people are giving information to people, but they're taking the information and doing nothing with it. This is my entitled opinion, if you ask me. Um, again with this, I have the board. We'll go through the board. Let me see the time. Yeah. So I'll probably do this for like another 15, 20 minutes, and then we'll go into the who asked shoes. Do women know they're boring or they just don't care? I think women know they're boring. My entitled opinion. I don't. I think women know they're boring, but because of the fact that they can provide you with sex, they're using that. You know, you have to accept the boredness because you want what's in between her legs, and I think that's corny. I think women should want to be more intellectually inclined. You know what I mean? The conversation should be more. Women should want to have conversations. You know what I'm saying? You know, you shouldn't be on the phone with people and then not be a spicy conversation sometimes. Like, why are you on the phone with people, you know, 6 hours and nothing spicy ever comes out? You know what I'm saying? That's fucking boring. You know what I'm saying? Like, how far do you think this is gonna go? I always what I believe in my entitled opinion, I believe women stop once they get the man. Once a woman feels as though she has you, she stops putting in the effort. She stops making it competitive. She stops all that. She just believes that you're not supposed to go out there and do anything else with any other woman because this pussy she's giving you is God sent, and she's not doing anything to maintain it. No, you could be getting this when you first found your girl, you know what I mean? She was nice, slim, attractive, beautiful, fit, feminine, attractive. And then 5, 7 years, this she's unfit anymore. But she doesn't care because she's like, man, I'm giving you this. So you should love it. You should love me how I am. And I get it. You should love your person how they am, but come on. You know, as a man, we're constantly competing with outside men. Whether you want to believe it or not, we're competing with bums, the rich niggas, the drug dealers, the thugs, the dreads, the gangsters, the Wall Street guy. We're in competition with everyone. And on top of that, we're in competition with women as well because the women are taking the women away from us as well. Okay, we're in constant competition. We're trying to better ourselves either with fitness, trying to better ourselves with either money, we're trying to better ourselves with either education, we're trying to better ourselves with this look to make so appealing for you to come here. But in retrospect or in reverse, the women aren't doing that. The women's like, "Man, I gave you this coochie. You ain't never had coochie in your life, so you should just respect how I'm coming, and that's it." And it's like, man, you're not even competing for my love anymore. You stop doing all these things, but there's women outside that are like, they're trying to get my attention, and I'm looking because you're not doing those things anymore. And now I feel bad because I'm like, wow, I'm stepping out on this relationship because this lady isn't fulfilling what she used to do anymore. That's insane. You know, you should, as a woman, you should know this is a constant competition. There are way too many women outside that can take your man because you think this shit is sweet. You just gonna get up and argue with your man and let him go outside. Girl, there's people out there dying to take that man from you. And it's a shame you don't believe that. It's a shame to believe that you are the only woman in the world that he possibly can be with. Girl, he can be with anyone. He doesn't need you. You need the man. A man can go out here and make ends. You know what I'm saying? He can protect himself. Go out there and fight the world. Can you honestly say as a woman, you can really go out here by yourselves and protect yourselves? You need some type of protecting. You know what I'm saying? So come on, man. It's a competition. I believe the competitive state has died. Women are just like, well, I got you, so you should be happy because I can just leave you. Like, what the hell? Like, no. Like, still compete for my love. This is a love. You're competing for my love. You're competing for me. Just like I go outside and I compete for you. I can be a fucking bum, but I know you're going to fucking leave me because I'm no longer competing for this statue or this place in life. You know what I'm saying? So come on, man. That's just my entitled opinion. I believe a lot of women are just leaving and they're like, fuck it, man. He needs to be doing. I don't need to be doing anything. A lot of women are barely even giving blowjobs anymore. And that's a shame. Like you don't jerk your man off, you don't give your man a blowjob, you don't have spicy sex conversations with him. There are girls out there willing to have that with him. But the only thing a woman sees that is, oh yeah, he's willing to cheat on me because men ain't shit. No, it's not that men ain't shit. You aren't shit yourself. You get somebody and then stop being good or stop being great. That's it. Because you got somebody, you feel as though, well, that's the end of that. That stop working. But when they go to work, they advance at work in that working field for the working man. They make sure they're not just being that worker, they're the supervisor, all this other bullshit. But when they come home to the man, bare minimum. It's ridiculous. I think it's unfair. Not this. I'm not saying all women are doing. I'm just saying that a large percent of them are doing this. It's unfair. You know what I'm saying? Unfair. All right. Oh my God. I did it, again. If I do another I'm sending the cash out. I'm gonna pay somebody up $1 every time I do the to give advice, or when do you stop giving advice? I always give advice. I believe it's the nature in me to give advice, but I believe a lot of times I stop giving advice and just start listening. What I've understand is a lot of people don't really want a response or really want a solution to their problem. They just want to vent. A lot of times I find myself in that situation where people are venting to me, but I don't want to be the vent. You know, that's not what I want to be. I've never been the air for you to go ahead and spew your problems to. I'm a solution man. I want to provide you with a solution so you can stop going through this shit. You know what I'm saying? It's just my entitled opinion. Are men being more submissive, and is that working for women? I believe men are being more submissive. I believe a lot of men are being more submissive because, again, this is my entire opinion. A lot of men are being more submissive because a lot of men aren't getting coochie, or they don't actually get um the satisfaction to sleep with women. Okay, a lot of women believe that all men are out there sleeping with women, and that's insane to believe. Because if that's the case, there'd be a lot of kids outside, but there aren't. There's a lot of men outside who don't ever get to sleep with the women. They don't. They go years, months without sleeping with the woman. And if they do sleep with the woman, they've probably been sleeping with the same woman for years, off and on. Okay. There isn't a large pool of men out there that's just out there banging mad girls. And if they are, it's like a fraternity, a clique, a group. You know what I'm saying? It's not frequent with all these guys outside are doing it. It's not. It's not. It's not happening. I'm sorry to break your bubbles, women, or bust your bubbles. A lot of these men aren't having sex. They're lying. They're having sex with their hands. They're alone. They go home sleeping. A lot of them pay to have that affection. Okay? A lot of them pay for it. Or a lot of them go out there to entertain women thinking they're gonna go home with them and they don't. And they're okay with that as well. Because just the satisfaction of being with the woman is good enough for them. But in the era I came up in, we ruled. It was like go out there and kill. Go out there, hunt women down, and make sure you get your kill. That's the era I grew up in. So in that era I grew up in, yes, there was a lot of guys out there smashing girls, sleeping with mad girls. Yes, there was. There was, but a lot of those dudes end up having 6, 7, 10 kids. A lot of those dudes end up getting locked away. A lot of those dudes end up dying. You know what I'm saying? Which left people outside who aren't getting that sex. You know what I'm saying? We then went through a whole season of scamming season. I tried to explain to people the reason why we went through scamming season is another reason to show you that men weren't getting the option to sleep with you unless they had something to present. And the best thing for these specific men, the newer generation of men to provide you is with the scam. They were scamming people, scamming you, and you love the fear and the quickness of it. So it worked. And then when you realized they had no money, you felt vulnerable. Oh my God, they used me. He's broke. Like whatever. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Scamming season came because a lot of these ugly men weren't getting none. And they felt as though the only way they could get it is if they presented these women with money. And that's how they got it. They made all the bottle girls lit. They 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 left the strippers because you know who was giving the strippers money? The hustlers. You know what I'm saying? The dope dealers, the pimps was giving strippers money. Now the scammers who couldn't even get a girl, couldn't even get a girl to talk to him because he scanned the card. He now going to the bottle girl to give her the money, hype her up, take her shopping, stupid shit. You know what I'm saying? Get her body done. He looked like a complete bum. He looked like a garbage can, but her body done. He don't hit no gym. He scam. He got money. But you know what I'm saying? That's just my entire opinion. That's how I see it. Okay. On to the next. Can we retrust? Like I was trying to tell you, I had did this podcast of all these already, but the podcast I did, you really couldn't hear me. Like there was no sound. I think that's what messed me up. So I ended up doing it over again. Okay. But I went over a lot of these topics. Can we retrust? I believe we can retrust. The only problem is we put a lot of risk with that retrust. Okay. In order to retrust, we put a distance in between that person. You know what I'm saying? It's never a full retrust. You know what I mean? But we can retrust. Yes, we can retrust. Sure, but it takes some time. Just like you can relove. You know what I mean? A lot of that it just takes time. So yeah, I believe that. It's my entire opinion. I believe we all can retrust. Can you be positive but negative at the same time? In my entitled opinion, yes. I believe people can be positive and negative at the same time. I believe people can present goodness to you, but in the same sense have a negative outlook on what they really want for you. I believe people can be positive and wanting you to be success, but not more successful than them. Like, word, I'm happy you got that. I wish it was me. Like, that's the positive with the negative. You know what I mean? That's you trying to be positive, but sliding a little bit of negativity in there. You know what I mean? People do it all the time. My entire opinion, I think it happens on a daily. That's just my entire opinion. Are we giving up values just to find love? Yes. Yes. I've dated and been on dating apps, talked to numerous women, and through the time I've seen these women make decisions like getting married, marrying abroad, and they were just talking to me. You know what I mean? They were just trying to sleep with me or they were trying to, get up with me and in the instance they're married now. And I see that they're giving up values just to find that love. They're giving up certain values to find someone that's just going to love them. And to me, I'm like, yo, whatever floats your boat helps you find your lost remote. You know, but to me personally, in order for me to find love, I can't give up the values I have. You know what I mean? You have to come with your values, I have to come with my values, and we have to reevaluate them. You know what I'm saying? We have to compare and contrast and shit. You know what I'm saying? But I cannot give up my values just to get love. No, 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 I can't. I also believe, it's my entitled opinion, that having those values can deter your love because sometimes your values are unrealistic. If you have unrealistic values, then yeah, you may have trouble finding love. You know what I'm saying? That's that happens a lot. Your unrealistic values have left you alone. Your unrealistic values have left you to push your, instead of being with somebody, now you're just gonna go get another job, get two jobs, get another education under your belt. And I always tell people, you getting all these educations and then later finding a man is just telling that man you're coming with debt. Because you're not telling these new guys you're meeting that, "Oh my god, I took, you know, 2 student loans out, so I owe the schools like 50, 60 grand. So if we ever do get married or we ever make this official, you have to help me pay the fucking college debt I had." And is that fair to the man? I don't think that's fair. I didn't ask you to go to school. That education that you got is not helping me at the house. It's not doing that. It's not me doing me nothing if I have to pay for the education back. You know what I'm saying? I think that's where a lot of women get confused. They're like, "Oh, well, he shouldn't have a problem with it. Well, we could pay it together." Like, no, yes, you can pay it together, but now that's a burden. Maybe he had plans for you and him, but now that this school debt is a part of it, now he's like, "Fuck, I gotta back up my plans. 'Cause I gotta make sure I get this debt paid with." You know, that's what the future isn't holding. That's why a lot of relationships aren't successful because you're getting into this marriage or this new relationship, and you didn't even tell them like, "Yo, bro, I went to school for 4 years for human resources, and I don't even have a job." Or I work at, you know, the facilities, and with the shit I went to school for was nothing. I'm not even doing that. It's a waste. I would tell my girl, man, that was a waste. I'm not paying that shit. Tell them to come take it in blood, or we're just not gonna get married. Or if we do get married, we're filing separately. File your own fucking taxes to pay for your own school debt. I have my own school debt. I'm not hoping if I get married and my wife is gonna help me pay for my school debt. I'm paying for that shit. I went to school, not you. You know what I'm saying? That's just my type of opinion. Let's see. Let's see. Why is it in man's nature to compete? I think I don't know. I don't know. I don't really have an entitled opinion why it's in man's nature to compete. I'm actually going to have to cut this short because I actually have an interview at 1 o'clock. So we'll cut this short. That last one. The DM again. So send me that cash app. I don't know why it's in man's nature to compete. Animals compete, so males have to compete, is what I believe. Let's go ahead and go into our Who Asked You segment. Now, this Who Asked You segment is brought to you by Zara and a lot of our sponsors. Now, in this segment, we're gonna go through some posts and see why they presenting us this information, why they didn't present us this information prior, and why the fuck did we need to know? You know what I'm saying? So let's go through some of this CNN shit. As you can see, LA wildfires. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you definitely know about that. Israel Hamas war. Israel and Hamas agreed to a ceasefire and a hostage deal. Wow. A small minority of Israeli hostage families don't want a Gaza deal. Who are the hostages freed during the Israeli Hamas conflict? Now, who asked you not to come up with a ceasefire? And why is a ceasefire only coming up days before Donald Trump is about to get inaugurated? You know what I mean? They should have been wanted to have this ceasefire shit, man. I think they were. I personally, in my entitled opinion, I believe Israel and Hamas are working together to extort America for money, and in return, they're splitting the proceeds between them. And they're like, "Well, some people have to die so we can get this money, right?" And they're like, that's true." So they go about it and they do it that way. I mean, but who asked you, Israeli and Hamas, not to have a ceasefire? I mean, like, come on. Get this ceasefire, stop the war, free the hostages, free the people, man. Let's stop it. Let's move on. Democrats and GOP back Rubio Bondi addresses. Like, who asked you not to back Rubio? But who? What are we backing Rubio on? Huh? Let's see. Trump pushes. I think my screen froze. Yep. screen froze here. Let's see if we can. Oh, okay. Cancel. Okay. We're still streaming. We're still streaming. Let's go through this. As you can see, more than 6 million people in Southern California are under a critical fire threat. Like, who asked you not to be looking out for these people? Who asked you not to be, you know, readily prepared for certain things like this? Like, who asked you not to have preventativeness prepared for this? You know what I mean? Like, this is insane to me. Biden leaves office with his approval rating matching the lowest of his term. Man, get Biden up out of here. Who asked Biden to have any more last approval rating anything? Mhm. Okay. Alito asked if Pornhub is like the old Playboy. You have essays on there by Gore Vidal and William F. Buckley Jr. I mean, who asked Pornhub not to be like Playboy? All right, get your shit together, bro. We need that shit to be just like Playboy. Playboy died. We need that era back. Jump over there, the World Star. Gotta quit this by like 12:45. I got an interview. I have an interview with Raytheon today. Raytheon's like a big company, so they told me, they can only offer me like 26.50, some shit like that. And I was like, shit. But Raytheon's such a big company. I really didn't care or I don't care about the amount. I actually just want to get in the door with them. Because if I get in the door with them, I'm actually good. Once I'm in that door, I can grow. You know what I'm saying? She's going straight to jail. Women risked it all in the clearance aisle at Family Dollar. She got all butt ass. Yeah, who asked you to go to Family Dollar? Okay. Family Dollar is a family store for low income people. Instead of going somewhere to sell the punani you got or sell this pictures and get some money, you go to a Family Dollar and serve this up for free. Like, who asked you to do any of this at the Family Dollar? And I wasn't even there. Hmm? And why she shouldn't be going straight to jail. Like, somebody should be finding her a corner. Because I'm confused on, is Family Dollar really worth it? I actually want to click on that, but I don't, because a 27-year-old father and husband takes his own life a day after a woman exposed him online for not wearing pants at a bikini barista drive. What? That's insane. You unalived yourself because you're a woman. You see, women be doing the wildest shit. Who asked you to expose your man, your husband? You should be alone for the rest of your God-forsaken life. Like, this is insane. He unalives himself because you expose him. That's insane, man. Like, that's not even fair, bro. Bro living life on easy with the maxed out Riz. Had a girl wanting to raw dog after STD test and Mama Bear was ready in front of her. Yeah, that's insane. You either got money or it's gotta be the Riz. I don't know. Ru- That's insane. Shout out to you. I mean, who asked you not to go ahead with that? Go ahead, my guy. 2025 about to be full of surprises. Drunk lesbians did not give a fuck on the elevator. Turned the ride to a private after party. Mom stopped. What the hell? That's nasty. Who actually be doing all that shit on the elevator? Like, and where do I be at when all this freaky stuff is going on? I must be in the wrong town. So none of this shit happened in Boston. Tell you that. Popular Philly Muslim woman killed by ex in barbershop after stealing his money and properties to splurge with new man. Oh my God. Who asked you to do any of that? And then who asked you not to be prepared for what could possibly go down? God damn. That's insane. Diabolical. That chick needs to be in prison for doing this to the man she slept with. I don't know what she did, but whatever. Who asked you not to provide the rest of the information for having to click on it. Passport bro travels to Korea and finds him a Tinder date he'll never forget. Did the Tinder date have a penis? I want to go to Korea. That's why I said this new job I'm about to get, man. I'm about to be saving money to go places, man, because I'm out of here, man. I didn't sat down and did nothing, man. You know what I'm saying? Continuing on. She didn't have the gut feeling for no reason. Woman with a child left work and walked home to catch her boyfriend with his wow. You should have stayed at work, girl. Shit. Who asked you to come home early? Sisters wild out on a family at the beach. 21-year-old mixes alcohol and antidepressant, goes into a full-blown rage against police. Of course. It has to be the white lady. It has to be a white lady. Whole new person, former reality TV star, Delicious, is still turning heads at 47. I mean, she was turning heads when she was on there. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Who asked you not to, give me all the information? Trump and Obama going viral for staring down Kamala Harris. Melania looks mad as fuck. Who cares? They should both be staring down that lady like, girl, you tripping. You almost had the whole nation vote for you. And then had Meg the Stallion and girls twerking up there. Oh my goodness. You make up with every nigga that puts hands on you. Cameron exposed to Jim Jones after True Life and others pressed him. Yeah, man. Cam and Jim Jones. I don't know who asked y'all to put any of this on broadcast. You know what I'm saying? Like, get a room, y'all two. You know what I'm saying? Y'all been going through this beef forever. Like, who asked y'all to be having beef? And who asked Jimmy to get in between the beef between Cam and Mace? And then who asked Mace to be getting in between the beef between Cam and Jimmy? This is all sloppy work, man. Messy. Damn. Dude was giving his homie work during a 1v1 fight, then ate 6 shots after his friend opened fire on him. Damn. Who asked you to and who actually had them type of friends? Let's see. Let's see. Gone with the Wind. Speeding biker takes Shorty out. Ooh, Shorty, you should have been knowing that biker was on his way. You know what I'm saying? Who asked you not to be aware of all that stuff? Get them a WWE contract ASAP. Titties almost popped out during a wrestling match in the Houston Galleria Food Court. Who asked you to be in the Galleria Food Court fighting? Wow. We don't care. Iggy Azalea calls out Playboy Cardi for not seeing them in 6 months, then starts twerking on Maroon stream. Okay, let me get this straight. And then that's a moose knuckle she got. Let me get this straight. Bash your baby daddy because he ain't been around, and then start shaking your ass on the camera. Like, who asked you to bash your baby daddy? Who actually even have this man as a baby daddy? Like, girl, please. And who asked you to shake your ass? Like, I'm pretty sure they wanted you to shake your ass. They didn't even really want you to answer the question about Playboy Cardi. Joe Rogan says it would have taken $5 billion to rebuild Maui from the 2023 wildfire destruction, but the U.S. was busy sending $6 billion to Ukraine. Yeah, this is true. Who asked you, Joe Rogan, not to say that a long time ago? Hmm? Who asked you not to say that a long time ago, Joe? Let me thank you, World Star, for giving us this little bit of laughter and fun. We appreciate it. On to the shade room. Social media goes off with reaction to Representative Nancy Mace telling Jasmine Crockett to step outside amid heated debate. That's why these white people be looking at it like, you see, she's trash. Black people are trash, on not classy. You know what I'm saying? Who asked you to tell her to step outside? There was no part of the debate where you could come up with a good rebuttal. So to kill her with the rebuttal instead of telling her, I want you to step me outside, like, that's insane. Watch Bambi address little Scrappy for referring to her as his baby mama. I mean, you're not with Scrappy, then what are you? You're not his wife, you're not his girlfriend, then what are you? You and Erica are both his baby mothers to both his babies. Don't try to make yourself something special because you ain't shit either. You know what I'm saying? You actually got married with the man and then filed for divorce. Y'all are home wrecking people. That's why y'all still on Love and Hip Hop, wrecking more lives, making shit more difficult, being more toxic to people, and y'all still don't see that. The white people on MTV are capitalizing on the toxicity that they're providing on Love and Hip Hop. I don't care who they Monet or whatever people they want to put in front of them and be like, yeah, go ahead and shoot this direction for us. Fuck that. Monet don't own MTV or any of them channels that show is on. They are literally fucking making fun of us. But who asked you? Hmm? Who asked you, Bambi, to even open your fucking mouth and say, you're not the baby mom? Like, shut up. Gorilla clowns BBL allegations after dropping these gym selfies. I saw the gym selfies. Yeah, a moose knuckle was out. and her booty was out, but she got small ass titties, but whatever, you know what I'm saying? Who asked you, Glorilla, to even say anything about these allegations? Like people are gonna say it because that's the world we live in. All right. But Glow, let me tell you this. Who asked you not to go in that gym half butt ass nigga? You should go in there with a bikini because you going in there with a one piece. You might as well just go in there with a broad bikini top and a bikini panties. You know what I'm saying? Because you're going in there half naked, all the way naked. Like we get it. You know what I'm saying? You're trying to see all the gains, we get it. Jesus, you know what I'm saying? Put some clothes on because I'm about to run to that gym just to see you work out. Tokyo Tony addresses viral comment Dream Kardashian made about her during live stream. Whatever. Blueface's dad shares update on the rapper's home amid the wildfires in Los Angeles. I'm pretty sure his home got fired. Got ruined as well. Monica and her boo proved they're still going strong with their new foot. That's what's up, man. Monica and her dude, man. Oh, that's 50's man's Ant. Ant the ladies, man. I fucks with boy, man. I've always followed 50 and Ant. I also believe Ant was doing like management for Chris Breezy or whatever the case may be. But Ant seems like he's the man out there. So shout out to Ant and Monica for keeping it pushing. You know what I mean? Shout out to y'all. That's what's up. A whoa. I need to see this. Authorities arrest man attempting to smuggle this animal head through the airport. Yo, son, why are you trying to smuggle an animal head through the airport? Like, who asked you to do that? Like, who asked you to take the head from wherever it came from and then get on a plane? This is insane. This is the insane story right here. LSU wide receiver Kyron Lacey faces charges. You gotta hear this. Faces charges for alleged involvement in a deadly car crash that claimed an elderly man's life. He did this and then ran and then has been on the fucking run. This kid is done. Who asked you to go to a prestigious school like LSU and then to get into a car crash, and then what sounds to be right, it seems like he had a pistol on him as well, or he's on the run with the pistol. Yeah, this kid is done. Whoever your parents was need to go down with you as well because obviously you wasn't raised or taught right. Shit's insane. You know what I'm saying? Wow. An 84-year-old woman passes away after reportedly being left outside of her nursing home on Christmas Eve. Wow. Who actually leave her outside on Christmas Eve? I'm pretty sure it was Christmas weather outside. Like, why would you do that? LAPD arrests suspects accused of sparking massive fire on purpose. I mean, you guys have to find somebody that did that. Like, the fire and just wake up and was like, I just want to start firing today. Like, what the hell? That's insane. And then here's another one. Janae Aiko gets social media chat after she says, "Oh, Big Sean ain't her husband." Man, listen, stop answering them questions about who your husband and any of that shit because you're making yourself and that man look bad. Yeah, that ain't your husband, but yet you got a kid with him. Girl, you got two kids with two different men? Damn. And thank you, Shade Room, for providing us with this little bit of detail and stuff like that. ESPN. Now, I know a lot of y'all been watching the games, the basketball games, and everything like that. Philly won. Minnesota got their asses whooped. Fucking Minnesota is done. It looks like the Kansas City Chiefs are gonna be taking it again. I'm not too for sure. Let's see. Yeah, who asked them not to play so good? Like they was playing so good. And again, like I said, I had to cut this short. So I'll try to. There's nothing really here I can make. Let's see. A Super Bowl win can make Lamar one of the all-time greats. Like, who asked you not to know that this could make Lamar one of the greats? But I don't believe is actually going to win that. I don't think he's gonna win the Super Bowl. I think he's gonna go down as an awesome, great quarterback who just never won the Super Bowl. Stephen A. torn on friction between Pat Riley and Jimmy Butler. I believe this is my entitled opinion, but who asked me, right? I believe Jimmy Butler is a poison. I'm saying who asked you to start fucking up mid-season? You do all these nooses to your hair. Now you don't want to play for the team. Now the team ain't teaming for you. Like bro, you're just gonna go somewhere else and do the same shit. You don't know these other organizations. You've left them too. You know what I mean? Like, who asked you? Like, if anything, he needs to retire. Just call it quit. Just call Jimmy needs to just call it quit and like, you know what? I'm ending my year. I'm gonna be cutting this now. I'll run through a quick bet to see if we can give you some free bets. You know what I'm saying? Free FanDuel bets. Ha 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 ha. I know, right? I know. But I'll try to see if I give you some free FanDuel bets for 2 minutes. I got the Knicks beating Philadelphia tonight. I got Boston. I got New York beating Philly. I got Boston beating Toronto. I got Dallas beating the Pelicans. I got Orlando beating the Bucks. I got Atlanta beating Chicago. I got San Antonio over Memphis. I got Utah over Charlotte. I'd only pick Utah over Charlotte if Laurie Markkinen and them boys is back. If Laurie Markkinen and them boys is not back, I wouldn't suggest taking them. So let's see the lineups. This is where I normally go for my lineups to see who's gonna be working or who's gonna be playing, so I can make the right picks. You know what I'm saying? So let's look. Brunson is game time decision. Town is game time decision. Look at that. Look at these guys. So we don't know if Maxi's back, Drummond, Embiid, Paul George are back. So they're all game time decisions. So that looks like a Knicks can still take that game away. But if those guys are in, I have Philly beating the Knicks. All right. If Embiid and Drummond and Maxi and Paul George are there tonight, they're beating them. Toronto only got Isaiah quickly out. I still see Boston killing them. But in the same sense, Boston is known to be losing or known to lose to unimportant teams or low ranking teams. So I wouldn't be surprised if Toronto beats them by 1 or 2. Dallas. Derek Lively's game time. Luka's still out. Kyrie's back. Brandon Ingram may be back. Herbert Jones is out. So that's a good team. They got McCurry, McCollum, Trey Murphy, and Brandon Ingram may be coming back. So I may even take the Pelicans. But again, Kyrie Irving, Klay Thompson, there's still too many guys over there in Dallas for the Pelicans to beat them. Atlanta over Chicago. Let's see. D. Hunter, Johnson, Larry Nance. They don't really need Nance or Zeller to win. Let's see. Lonzo Ball, Dosunmu, Kobe Wright, Torrey Craig. Torrey Craig's out. Torrey Craig's been out for a while. But Zach LaVine's been playing phenomenal. And then look who Zach LaVine is going to be going against. Vic Krejci. I think Zach LaVine is going to kill him. But Atlanta has great defense. So that'll be a good team. I mean, a good game to watch. I'm still picking Atlanta over Chicago. Orlando versus Milwaukee. Caldwell Pope game time decision. Batazde is out. Gary Harris is out. Jalen Suggs is out. Franz Wagner is out. Magic will be losing this game today. Even though I'm not a fan of the Bucks, but I don't think the Bucks are gonna want to lose to them. And look, they got more wins than the Bucks. Anyways, to tell you the truth, I still have the Magic beating the Bucks. Unless Damian Lillard and Giannis have a combined 60-70, I don't see them beating them. Memphis versus San Antonio. I got 2 minutes left. Double G is out. Marcus Smart is out. B. Williams out. Oh, Jeremy Sochan is out. Well, I think Concher might be back. That's good for Memphis. I'm going to take Memphis over San Antonio. Houston versus Denver. I'm taking oh shit. I'm taking Denver over Houston. That's gonna be a good game. Charlotte versus Utah. No Trey Mann, Keontae George game time. Jordan Clarkson is out. Josh Collins out. Johnny Juzang is out. Lauren Markin is out. Colin Sexton is out. Yeah, the Jazz is losing. Golden State versus Minnesota. Tracy Jackson, Davis is game time. Peyton game time. Kyle Anderson game time. Draymond Green game time. Kuminga and Pizminski are out. T. Shannon is out. T. Shannon ain't shit for Minnesota to be worried about, but I don't. Mm, that's a good game. I'll take Minnesota beating Golden State. Even though Curry could shoot the lights out, I'm gonna take Minnesota to win that game. Miami versus the Lakers. Adebayo, game time decision. We all know Butler ain't playing. Josh Richardson's out. Anthony Davis and LeBron James are everyday game time decision. There's never a day where they're gonna play. They're not game time decision. So with that being said, I have the Lakers beating the Heat. Brooklyn versus the Clippers. No Nick. Nick Claxton is game time. Bogdanovich game time. Ben Simmons is out. Cam Thomas is out. And Lewis is out. So it looked like they got Cam Johnson back. PJ Tucker's still out. I see the Clippers beating them. I don't see Brooklyn getting out of that. So let's see what that bet will look like. I'm taking Charlotte, taking Houston, taking Minnesota, taking Los Angeles, I'm taking the Clippers. Who did I think was? Yeah, I'm taking Memphis over San Antonio. All right, so let's see. $10 will get us $1,000. Will get us 1,917. Okay, so that's a good bet. $25 gets you 4 grand, 5 grand almost. So head on down to FanDuel and place your bets. You know what I'm saying? If anything, for this game, for the Orlando Magics and the Bucks, I think I might do the spread. I give Milwaukee the spread. For the Memphis and San Antonio, I'll give Memphis the spread. For the Houston Rockets and Denver game, I'll give Denver the spread. For the Minnesota and Golden State game, I'll give Minnesota the spread. So now that brings that $25 to 4 grand, $541. You know what I'm saying? All right. Well, thank you guys for tuning in for another segment series of the Who Asked Yous and my untitled opinions. Let me go ahead and stop sharing my screen there. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your week. I normally do these on Sundays, but today's like what, Thursday? Whatever day it is. Today's Wednesday, Thursday, whatever the fuck it is. But enjoy your day. Stay safe. If you're not gonna stay safe, stay dangerous. Go out there and be the best you can be that you ever can be. And thank you again for stopping through. I'm saying leave the comments, subscribe, tell your friends to subscribe. And again, thank you again for coming to another segment series of Untitled Opinions and Who Asked You. I'm gonna get the music playing. I'm gonna give me a little intro music and outro music, all right? But anyways, man, enjoy the week. Thank you guys.